welcome. Now, wow. Today we're going to celebrate the day of nurturer. The nurturer. Guys, I can't find my words. These energies and what's happening, and just, you know, you don't want to feed into the negative, but you also need to recognize being attacked. Because when you go through a metamorphosis and you're expanding, what we are expanding against wants to keep us small. But that's not going to happen. And because of the pressure being created, it's the diamond. But it's also too, when we go through a metamorphosis, because remember, we're multidimensional, we're going through all this at the same time. It's like the snake that sheds its skin, and how painful that is. The crustacean that molts its outer layer, and how painful that is. But we will create our pleasure from our pain. We'll use our pain to create our pleasure. And this is where we're shape-shifting. Like, you know, you hear a lot of people say, you know, don't say that, don't put that into the atmosphere, don't think this. But we also have to honor it too. So, like, there's a missing step here. You know, fake it till you make it only works for so long. We have to honor a feeling, right? We have to honor what something is. We have to honor the truth. We have to honor a negative. We have to honor the fact that, you know, we're facing a lot of negatives here in order to be the positive charge and manifest and create a new, transmute, transcend. But we still have to be able to just, you know, like, sometimes it's very beneficial to say, I'm just feeling lower vibe. I'm just feeling shitty. I'm just going through it. I'm having a dark night of the soul. But we don't want to continue to feed into it. We want to shapeshift with it. Do you see how this gets tricky? Because we can continue to feed into that loop. We can continue to feed into it. You know, this is the serpent that's eating its own tail. And we can go farther and farther down. And this is what, you know, as Infinite Waters calls them, the inorganic ones, you know, their wish. The evils of this world, the evil forces. We're not going to feed into them because, you know, they're part of the all. They're part of creation. It's part of everything. And so we are connected. So we're not going to fear something we're connected to. And disconnecting from it is actually not many of the times helping us out. Now, there's a difference between setting a boundary and raising our vibration and putting space between us than, you know, disconnection and separation. And I really feel like, you know, I don't want to get too off track onto this topic today, because Mercury is going retrograde and we're already being affected by this. We know there's a pre-shadow phase, post-shadow phase. And I have like a page of notes of, you know, channeled messages I want to share that are all about this. But I really felt called to just say, like, guys, let's recognize we're going through it. Many of us, okay? But it's part of these eclipse energies. It's part of the metamorphosis, because things that are being, you know, not for our greatest good, not in alignment with our soul's mission, our soul's purpose, are being eclipsed from our lives. I do want to keep this lighthearted and say, you know, happy Nurturer's Day, because I want to honor more than just, you know, being a mother, being a goddesses. This to me represents the day of the great nurturer and what nurturing means. Now, I wasn't gonna have any channel messages. I just wanted to share a message. And lo and behold, one channel message was shared. And of course, The child, possibilities, because what does Mother's Day symbolize? The relationship between mother and child. And, you know, as you know, what we came here to do, many of us are healing these templates for the rest of the collective. Not everybody has this cookie cutter, you know, this mom and dad and the white picket fence and, you know, the son and the daughter and the dog. That's not realistic. That's not life here. Many of us nurture, and many of us have also experienced wanting to have our own children, and, you know, healing from that, healing from, you know, having troubles conceiving, or, you know, surprise pregnancies, and, you know, all the different things that a mom does here. And you don't just have to be born into this to be a nurturer. And to remember that we're healing all these templates for the rest of the collective. So it's just love. It just is what it is. It's still everything else. You see how, once again, too, we're multidimensional. It's all these things, but it still just is what it is at the core. It's love. It's nurturing. Now, this is allowing us to further heal with the elements of air and expand with our possibilities with the elements of air. And because we're honoring the feminine here today, it has to do with the moon and perception. We're going to shift our perception. We're going to shift our perception with source, the sun. And this is because of the eclipses. We had the eclipse in Taurus, new moon, well, black new moon, solar eclipse in Taurus, and we're having the total lunar eclipse in Scorpio, okay? Now, these are two feminine, the feminine. Guys, I have no words. I gotta find these words. I didn't know if I was gonna make it here today. I actually didn't know if I was ever making it back here, to be honest with you. So we have the mother and the daughter. Okay, the water and the earth. The earth being Taurus, the daughter, the water, the mother, Scorpio, okay? So let's share this message. Let's share this message, and it's connected to our 5th house, our passions. We know we found this out last time we met up with this solar eclipse in Taurus. Venus, beloved, and Taurus season is connected to working with Venus, as well as, you know, the most spectacular things in the sky have been happening, okay? Neptune, or visions. We know that Pluto has gone retrograde. That's connected to our rebirth. Mercury is about to go retrograde. That's connected to our messages. And Chiron, we're going to heal. But in order to heal, we're going to have to nurture. And what we're going to laser focus on is nurturing with the way we think, nurturing with the mind. And this is going to allow us to heal our partnerships. And when we heal our partnerships, we're going to heal within, to the core, with our hearth and our flame. And understanding that our heart is the connection to it all. It's the center gauge. It's to the core. And we're going to get deeper into this as we go along. So hang tight. Now we're healing from our past with the South Node and how we act with our impulses with Aries, because we went from Aries season, now we're in Taurus season, and we're in Taurus season, so we're going to cultivate, and what we're cultivating is our connection with Gemini. And Gemini is the next season that we will enter. We know Gemini's connection to the lovers, and we're cross-pollinating here. This means something. We're going to be in alchemy. And we will be finding out what this means as we get closer and closer to Gemini season. So, let's get our message. And we're going to expand off that, okay? Moon, perception. The moon, ruler of Cancer. And Cancer was the next card out in the deck. And there's that crustacean. Speaks of the deep inner river of emotions. What motivates you? How will you experience and express your feelings? And how will you nurture and need nurturance? In your astrological chart, the moon is as important as the sun, even though it's much smaller. By a coincidence of relative size and distance, from our earthly perspective, the sun and moon are symbols of consciousness and unconsciousness, appear to be the same size. And this proportion makes eclipses possible. The moon cycles through the zodiac in 27.5 days, changing signs every 2 days and coloring our moods. Habits, I was going to say habitats, it does, our habits and behaviors. And we know that this is our feminine side, our habitual patterning, our subconscious mind, and our subconscious is running 95% of the time. Now we know that when we become woke, conscious, aware, we're shifting with our subconscious mind. We're shifting with our habits. This has to do with healing from addictions, impulses, lower vibrational impulses, not feeding from our lower vibrational impulses, and expanding with the higher vibes, the positive. So, action. First, perceive what unspoken emotional inner calling and patterns drive you. Look to your own moon sign. When you cooperate with your moon's emotional motivation, you'll find it easier to walk in harmony with your path. Next, investigate the needs and wants of those around you. The emotions underneath the surface actually run this show. Those primary drives are expressed through habits and actions, nuance and expression, rather than through words. Look for that underground ocean. It carries the soul's energy. That's a key piece of information. Speak to the insecurities that slow this process. Act in a way that helps others feel nurtured, warm, and emotionally connected. Make them feel at home. Tend the food, water. I was going to say water the home. The guys listen. Tend the food, water, the home base. Like the moon, the energy in the situation will wax and wane, so assesses the current phase and work with those cycles. So we're working with the cycles of La Luna. We're working with the rhythms of creation. We are cyclical beings. This is all connected. We are all connected. We are all one. So the challenge, look to feelings rather than logic to move the situation forward. Notice any strange responses to anxiety, touchy personal defenses, nepotism, xenophobia, subjectivity, or insecurity, either in your motivation or in those around you. Tend to the fear that lies underneath these behaviors. So guys, we're gonna heal our fears to another level. We're gonna look deeper. Gift. You are one with the ebb and the flow. Watch what sign the moon occupies each day, and let the moon teach you about its phases. Align yourself with those tides and make life easier. Now, I'm sure many of you have apps. I have an astrological calendar. I also believe we can intuitively do these things as well, and we want to do a mix of both, right? We're not going to be all worried and be like, I need to know what sign the moon is in today. We're going to intuitively be in the flow. You know, check it out if you feel called to check it out. This is about balance with the feminine and masculine. So we know that we're expanding our perception with the moon, the feminine, and then the masculine, the sun, source, okay? And we got these cards together on our solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Taurus reading with that black new moon. This is big. Luminaries, sun, source. In your natal chart, the sun symbolizes the core of your personality, your life force, ego, and consciousness. The sun and aspects of the sun describe how you express that basic vital energy. From our earthly perspective, the sun circles the zodiac once a year. But in truth, the sun is the center point around which the planets revolve. All other bodies in our solar system reflect its light. It is unimaginably huge. 1,000,000 Earths could fit within. Now, this has to do with honoring the fact that we understand our moon sign and our sun sign. This is very beneficial to understanding us. You know, our birth chart. This is why I love studying birth charts. And you know, when you meet that person for like the first time, they just always thought they were, you know, an Aquarius. And you're like, oh, well, do you know what your moon sign is? And they're like, what? I got a moon sign? And then, you know, they read their birth chart, the information from their birth chart, and they just grow and expand and you know, get to know themselves a little bit deeper to the core. And people that really understand astrology, this is part of the magic of it. This is part of the beauty of it. And there's always something to learn. This is what I love about you know, these topics. There's always knowledge to grow from. Action. The sun's light shines through the teacher, actor, lover, leader. Those who use their enthusiasm, warmth, and charisma for a common good. It's time for you to take center stage. Let the sun's light flow through you and shine, illuminate, and energize your surroundings. And use this to be of service. Notice what feeds your vitality and work with it. As you let the sun flow through you, your health will improve. Now, this is how we heal from our lower vibrational impulses, because we're not feeding from source, or we're feeding from it in a twisted way. We have to untwist it, because this has to do with our vitality. You know, when you're feeding from addiction, you're in depletion. This isn't being in depletion. This is our vitality. So, you will draw support to your energy and enthusiasm. Step into your potential. If you are asking about a project, notice how the vitality flows through the design and clear the path. Let this situation be a channel for the sun's energy and feel it take on a life of its own. Challenge. Narcissism is the shadow of the sun's energy. The false belief that I am the center of the universe, and you are not. Learn to earn attention and respect rather than demand or expect it. Gift. The sunlit moment is an opportunity to let your ego step out of the way. Let the sun's light flow through you and let spirit do the work. Shine wholeheartedly and share the warmth with friends, family, your community, and the world. Make it an offering. Live the truth. I am the center of the universe, and so are you. So look, we have to restore connection here. So we're restoring it through the balance, through the center point. So yes, you know, our world, we are in charge of our world, right? And we still have outside forces that are in alchemy with our inner universe. But we are all connected. So it's through the balance. So it's just being able to, like, I'm suffering, all this stuff is happening to me, but life is suffering, all this stuff is happening to life. But how do we add the positive charge? How do we thrive? How do we shift with the positivity? How are we in gratitude? And much of it is through service. And this gets really hard because when we're caught in like a dark night of the soul, we're depressed. This gets hard, and guys, this is why I had a hard time getting here. Because I'm going through another dark night of the soul, and I'm very depressed, and I'm having an ending to begin again through these eclipse energies. And I know better than anybody what it's like when you're depressed and it's hard to show up. It's hard to show up for yourself. It's hard to show up for the people that you love. And it's so much easier to feed into our addictions and our lower vibrational impulses. But this is set forth with a challenge, and to understand that, you know, there's a common thread uniting us all, or common threads uniting us all. We're not alone in this universe. And I feel like many of us really need to feel that right now. So, especially with Mercury going into retrograde, and people are like, oh, Mercury's not going to affect me, and I'm going to claim this Mercury retrograde. And guys, I believe what is happening for us is what is happening for us, and we can choose to shift our perception right here, like with the moon. We can perceive that it all sucks, or we can perceive that it's for our greatest good. But if we really want to know the truth, we should call it in, and we shouldn't be afraid to see it. And if we are afraid to see it, there's a reason why. And remember, we're facing our fears, but we need to build off the truth. We don't want to build off illusions. We want to build off the truth. And yes, that's very negative, but remember, we're building it with positivity. And we're going to expand off this more, because I want to really laser focus on how we're going to start building, you know, being the builders with what we're seeing from within to without, not without to within. And yes, we're always going to be in alchemy with a bit of both. But we're going to close off, you know, speaking of, you know, forces that are working against us, we're going to close some of that off so that we can really expand and create with some positive vibes. And this may be fantasy based, but healthy fantasy based, like the energy of Pisces, where we're going to transmute negativity, lower vibrational things, but we're going to be in healthy play with creation and high vibe fantasy. We just, once again, too, we won't get lost there. And if we get lost there for a time, we'll come back. So let's expand off this. We're shifting with the Three of Pentacles, the water and the earth. Guys, I didn't even know. That's what I love. We're speaking about this, and here's this card here. Just called to use this to hold my place in the book. So we are going to meet up for Mercury.